Hi, this is Don Cowboy Biker Adventures. Today's episode I have for you, Graceland. Yes, Elvis Presley's mansion and all the things that go with it. It's been about a 4.5-hour experience, and that's without me taking time to eat. So there's so much to see here. It's almost like going to Six Flags or someplace without the rides. But here comes a shuttle. It's going to go by me here in a second. Across the street is where you buy tickets, and here's that shuttle. And this is they take you over to the mansion. They give you a tablet and headphones to help you with the tour over here on this side of the road, which includes the Memorial Garden and all the grounds. I think it's 13 something acres. And on the other side is the different museums, his planes, the jumpsuits, the restaurants and all of that. But if I can switch this around, okay, now that I have it turned around, I can show you what it looks like on the front here before we get started with the tour. Let's start where we just passed the front gate to Graceland, heading north on US 51 or Elvis Presley Boulevard. As your tour guide, I should show you where to park. It is $10. Leaving the parking lot and walking to Elvis Memphis, as they call it, you see a sign that directs you where to go. And looking around, this is all that you see. Walking up, look to the left, and above the stores is these big signs or pictures of Elvis. There's 4 to the left, and then looking to the right, there's 4 to the right. Moving up the walk, you can see some other things. By the way, the TCB stands for Taking Care of Business, which is what Elvis named his band when he made his comeback in 1969, and it was also one of his famous sayings. The lighting boat was added when him and Priscilla out the window of the plane saw a flash of lightning. So he used to like to say, taking care of business in a flash. As you move inside to buy your tickets, you can see where you can buy them. And this was about 10:15 a.m. on a Sunday. And after you decide and buy your tickets or which tour you want, I'm a senior, so I got a discount. It was $78 for my ticket. They move you over to either Theater A or Theater B. Now that's where the line started. And as you're in line, you can look around and see a way to Gladys diner, and there's even a cafe. Oh, by the way, that was a picture of the map of the complex that they give you when you buy your ticket. After about a 15-minute wait, I went into Theater A, sit in the back, and they give you or show you a 7-minute video on what to expect and about Elvis' life. After you watch the 7-minute video, you go outside, and there's 2 different directions you can go, and they take your picture because they want to sell them to you later. FYI, they're $34.95 plus tax. After that, you stand in line for the bus, and there's one running, it looks like, about every 5 minutes. 14 people at a time get on the buses that take you over to Graceland Mansion. Meantime, they give you a tablet and headphones that you can listen to and get you ready for the tour of the mansion. Then we take the short ride over across the street to the mansion, Graceland, as we pass his planes, the aviation part on the left, which I'll show in a future video. You can see what it's like to go through the gates and get a first glimpse of Graceland. And see there are other tour buses in front of us, and there will be a line here to get into the front door. Here I am pulling up in the bus. They're about ready to let us off to get in this line. And after we got in the line, we had to wait, so we had a chance to take pictures, including the front of Graceland and also the plants and the grounds around, including the trees, and selfies as we wait our turn. Interesting thing about this is I had these plants, very plants, planted along my front walk at my house in Texas for years back in the 90s, the second half of the 90s. And of course, this is a National Historic Landmark. And while we are around the front porch, for lack of a better word, it's really not that huge. There was a young lady that was telling us about some of the rules and what we was going to expect to see, and told us when to hit start on our iPad. As soon as you walk in and look to your left, you see a portrait of Priscilla and 2-year-old Lisa on the wall of the foyer. Then if you look to the right, you will see the formal living room, and behind that is the music room. A few things stick out about this room. First of all, the 15-foot one-piece sofa was custom made. So was the 10-foot coffee table. You got to remember these pieces are from 1957, as is a lot of things in this house. This is the room where Elvis greeted his guests and often entertained friends and family. Elvis added the mirrors to the walls in 1974 to help make the rooms appear more spacious. Blue and white color theme was prevalent in these formal rooms throughout most of the years. There is a short time when Elvis had it red and gold motif. The fireplace is one of 3 in the house and is gas burning. Elvis was a student of religion, and in 1974 he added the stained glass peacocks, as they were an ancient Christian symbol of eternal life and resurrection. In the music room sits a beautiful white grand piano. Many times family and friends gather around Elvis at the piano as they spent hours harmonizing and singing their favorite songs. Late night gospel sing-alongs were common in Elvis's life, at home and on the road to relax and unwind. Elvis said it eased his mind. Sometimes Elvis could be found alone in there playing and singing for his own amusement. See the photos on the walls? Elvis did not have these on his walls when he lived here. The one on the left was in Vernon's office, but was brought in for the tours. The one of his parents, Vernon and Gladys, taken in 1957, and they both depict a family around the time of Graceland's purchase. The next stop of the tour is down the hallway to Gladys and Vernon's bedroom, which is along the side of the grand staircase leading to upstairs in Elvis's bedroom, which is off limits to tours. Please note that Elvis was natural blonde, as in this one picture. In Gladys and Vernon's bedroom, you can't help but notice the lavenders and purples, and don't miss the poodles on the wallpaper. The clothes in the closet is just how she left it when she passed away. Now as we go back to the foyer and turn to the left this time, that is the formal dining room. And yes, just like every room in the house, there's at least one TV in it. This one would pivot so Elvis could rotate it as he ate. He could watch TV. An interesting note here, all the TVs in the house are RCAs except for the one in his bedroom is a Zenith. Remember, he recorded for RCA and they gave him these TVs. The formal dining room is where the evening meal was usually served around 9 or 10 p.m. Elvis, sitting at the head of the table, would often host 10 to 12 friends and family for dinner and conversation. The china on the table is Priscilla and Elvis's wedding china. The Italian chandelier is one of the 3 Elvis bought in 1974, and it matches the one above the stairs. The portrait of Priscilla and 2-year-old Lisa is when Lisa inherited compared to Graceland and all her father's things. She and her children would visit often, and when they did, they had their meals served at this table. Elvis was always ahead of the times, and while it's commonplace today, even back then Elvis had a television in every room. The dining room is also the place that the family put up Christmas tree each year. It was placed in the window behind Elvis's chair. Many of the family Christmas photos show Lisa open her presents and toys in this room, including her tricycle that she rode around the table on the marble floor that Elvis had installed in 1961. Next, we will head to the right, which is the kitchen. Elvis and his family and friends kept different hours and routines. Elvis had cooks and maids on staff that came and went in 8-hour shifts. Someone was always on duty as meals were often cooked to order. The meals were all simple Southern cooking. They often included things like steaks, pork chops, meatloaf, or fried chicken, and of course lots of cheeseburgers. Elvis loved homemade banana pudding, and that was always available. Elvis redecorated several times, but today it remains as it was done in the middle 1970s with the harvest gold and avocado green that was popular at the time. The stained glass light fixtures were bought at the same time as the crystal chandeliers. Elvis had all the latest appliances, including a very early microwave oven that you can see on the countertop. By the way, that microwave still works today. They just don't make them like they used to. Here on the table is the security camera monitors that Elvis and the staff used to keep watch on the grounds. There are monitors also in Elvis's bedrooms. The phones are where the incoming calls were answered. There's also a phone for the intercom throughout the house. Now we'll head downstairs in this split-level house. On the way, we will pass and get our first glimpse of what was called the Jungle Room. Don't worry, we will cover that room in detail later on. One interesting fact about that room is the media is the one that named it the Jungle Room, not Elvis. As I head downstairs, you'll notice the staircase is totally enclosed with mirrors. Mirrors surround you and gives you a very unique effect. But this is the way to the monkey room and the pool room, and I could not resist taking a selfie here. When you get to the bottom of the stairs, you turn left to the monkey room, and the first thing you see is the bar to your right. And everything about this room is yellow or banana color. And even though Elvis did not like the taste of alcohol, he had bars throughout the house fully stocked for his guests and friends. The monkey room was actually his TV room, which nowadays they would call it a media room. Elvis loved NFL football, and he knew the names of the players, the teams, the numbers, and their positions. Elvis got the idea of 3 TV sets from a former President Johnson, who used to watch all 3 network news programs at the same time. Elvis thought it would work great to catch all the football games at once. He also enjoyed a variety of shows and situation comedies. To the right of the TVs is a built-in jukebox that can hold 100 singles and is wired to speakers throughout the house. To the left is part of Elvis' personal record collection. He loved all kinds of music, but especially Southern gospel music. Above the TV sets is a pull-down screen, and behind the framed fabric panel on the wall by the bar is a projection room where a projector allowed Elvis to screen movies in this room. He also rented out theaters on a regular basis. On the right wall is a lighting bolt, which is part of Elvis' personal logo and motto that you usually see with his letters TCB. It means taking care of business in a flash or quickly. On the left wall, the second gas burning fireplace that's in the home. The mirrors again make the room look larger and more spacious. The yellow bar soda fountain made this room great parties and entertaining. Now we'll turn around and head across the width of the staircase to to the other room, which is the pool room. This is Elvis's pool room. It is crazy, but if you ask me, it's also cool. Walls and ceiling are covered in fabric, 400 yards worth, and it's kind of like a thick denim. And it took 10 days to finish. Elvis enjoyed playing pool, but if you was to play Elvis in a game of pool, you got to remember his pool table, his rules. So if he didn't like where the cue ball was, he got to move it. This rip in the fabric of the pool table was done by one of Elvis's friends. He was trying a trick shot, didn't work out. Of course, no one ever fessed up to who actually did it. And in case if you didn't notice, the fabric of the couches or sofas matches the walls. It's made of the same fabric. I think it's pretty cool. Elvis was out shopping and saw this baker's rack and loved it. So the guy was taking all the things off of it, and Elvis said, "What are you doing? You don't understand. I want it just the way it is with all the things on it." So Elvis bought it just the way it was and had it delivered, and here it sits today, just like he saw it in the store. Elvis actually purchased this pool table in 1960. Memphis interior designer Bill Eubanks helped Elvis with the 1974 redecorating of this room. And at that time, most of the furnishings here was chosen as well. The furniture is not antique, however, the Louis style chairs and the art prints work well with the turn of the century European theme of the room. This is the third fireplace in the house and the only wood burning one. However, after the fabric was installed, it was not used because of the fabric. We will now turn and go back up to the first floor. Please, the next room up is the jungle room. As we make our way down the hallway leading to the stairs that will take us back to the first level or first floor, you can see there's some old pictures on the wall, but the unique thing is this green shag carpet on the walls and the ceiling leading up to the jungle room. On the way up the stairs, looking to my left, there's a window looking into the kitchen. The artifacts in this jungle room are just crazy. Very unique, but I like it. And Elvis never named it a jungle room. That was named after his death by the media. To Elvis, this was just a den. By the way, this is also where he made his last two albums. He recorded them here in this room. And of course, there's a full bar for his family and friends and when he entertained. The stairs lead to the roof, which is flat. You'll also notice there's statues of monkeys like there were in the monkey room. You see, Elvis had this pet monkey named Scatter. This monkey would drink and smoke, and he was trained to lift up skirts. Notice on the wall on the left there is a fountain, but it doesn't work. It actually works, but it keeps flooding out the yellow room, the monkey room, and it did in Elvis' time, so they could not keep water in it, and it's still that way today. You see the carpet in this room? When it came time to vacuum it, they didn't vacuum it, they'd rake it. Originally, this room was nothing more than the porch on the back of the house, thus the stone wall and the original back door, which is behind me. Elvis enclosed it and made it a room in the mid-1960s. That's when the waterfall wall was also built. In 1974, Polynesian or tiki furniture was very popular. Elvis saw this carved furniture at a local store named Donald's and bought it immediately. It reminded him of his favorite vacation place, Hawaii. With the addition of numerous animal statues, it became the jungle room, as the press put it. As a little girl, Lisa would sometimes curl up in the big chair for a nap. Carpeting on the walls and ceilings were also a popular 70s idea that turned out to be very handy for acoustics. In 1976, Elvis recorded two of his albums in this room. The furniture was moved out and musicians and their instruments were brought in, and RCA drove their mobile recording truck right up behind the house and ran the cables inside. Now, as I make my way down this hallway, the credits are about ready to roll as I exit the mansion, but be sure to stick around to after the credits for bonus picture of Elvis that's never been published. Plus, I'll talk about the next video I'll bring you from Graceland. So if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll have more Elvis in the future, I promise. Most likely 4 or 5 more videos. So don't go anyplace. We're not done yet. A couple days after I filmed Graceland, I was sitting at the bar at Texas Roadhouse house in Missouri eating a steak, and I was wearing my new Elvis t-shirt that I bought at Graceland. And this gentleman, Scott Wilkins, came up and struck up a conversation. Turns out his father went to high school with Elvis. Matter of fact, he had this picture of Elvis that his father gave him. It was a big picture of the whole class. He just has part of it on his phone. You see, that's his father on the front row kneeling in the light-colored blazer, and Elvis is on the back row center screen. This picture has never been published before, and he gave me permission to put it on my video. Also, his father told him some things about Elvis. One thing, Elvis was considered kind of a geek in high school, and his father and other boys would have to help push Elvis' car to get it started at times. And Elvis told them at that time there'd be someday he would own a fleet of cars, which will be coming up in a video in the near future. But my next video from Graceland will be of the meditation garden, which includes Elvis's grave and also Lisa Marie's grave, along with his mother and father and some others. I'll also show the surrounding buildings on the property. So until next time, have a good one.